You know how like shy people are usually the worst at dating? They can't sit there, look you in the eyes and hold the proper conversation, or when you do try to talk to them, they go, ooh woo, the anime girl, ooh woo, don't look at me, And I'm gonna be honest and say this, usually they don't have a whole lot of luck with women for clearly obvious reasons. But because of that, they don't go on dating apps like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, God forbid, Facebook dating. No. But would you have guessed that they go on Reddit of all places? Specifically to a Reddit called r/Virginity Exchange? That's a real subreddit. Somehow, through one way or another, a bunch of shy or neats found themselves on a subreddit called r/Virginity Exchange, and they will sit there and try to exchange, well, each other's V cards. There's no way around it. They're literally sitting there asking each other, you know, usually it's a male looking for a female, because I don't imagine a whole lot of women are on there, trying to exchange their V cards with somebody else. And you have to be a real virgin. You can't be that little fake virgin like the girl from the movies where they go, oh, I've never done anything like this before. No, only real virgins are allowed in this subreddit. Hi, my name is Big Papa Tess, and I'd like to talk about things that I find interesting. If you happen to find me funny or even a teeny tiny bit interesting, then why not give me a like and a sub? It's a small thing for you, but helps me out than you can possibly imagine. And while you're at it, why not go ahead and, you know, click that description and join the Discord. I'm in there almost every single day, and I would love to get the chance to know you. And now, back to the video. So, the format is simple. You drop your age, what you are, your location, and you just Hail Mary it on a subreddit and just hope that somebody bites for whatever reason using only text and no photos. You know, now I think about it, r/Virginity Exchange doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? Remember how I mentioned that you have to be a virgin? Well, they felt the need to put it inside of their own rules immediately when you join for some reason, like it's not already in the name. But would you believe me that this community has been around since 2015? Which, I mean, if you do simple math, that would make it around 10 years. So it's been around for a decade. But it makes me kind of chuckle because think about it. It's a bunch of anonymous virgins trying to exchange a virginity online, almost like it's AA. The crazy thing is that it has over 50,000 members, all hanging out in one place, which is on Reddit of all places. Honestly, if I had to describe it, it's kind of like Tinder, but with a giant logo at the top saying, hey, remember, this is all for people who are inexperienced or lack any experience at all, really. Now, I know many of you are thinking right now, myself included when I was first looking into this, that this subreddit has absolutely no success stories. But with everything and the internet being so vast, there's bound to be at least a few here and there. Take David, for example. He was a 28-year-old living in England and in a really dark place. He literally said on Reddit that life wasn't worth living, which I don't know why you're going to say that of all places when you're trying to get a woman, but hey, more power to you. He did it, I didn't. That's how literally low he felt about being a virgin. Then he came across r/Virginity Exchange like an angel descending from the sky to bestow this forbidden knowledge that nobody else can know other than David. And he started Nah, I'm kidding. So he makes a post on r/Virginity Exchange, somehow links up with a woman, and they genuine click. So a round of applause for my boy David. They meet up, did the deed, and for him, it wasn't just about sex, right? It was about finally letting go of his giant weight that he'd been carrying, aka his V card. He described it as a feeling of being liberated. And honestly, subredditors handed out trophies, I'm pretty sure, like King Arthur's table, a bunch of virgins would sit there and finally give him the trophy of losing his V card. And, you know, honestly, a round of applause for him, because once again, you got to remember that this guy was genuinely going to murk himself because he was a virgin and he was 28. Or another one that didn't share his name, of a Canadian guy, age 27, who had a successful job, a stable life, a good source of income, but he just had one problem, like a lot of these people do. He still had his V card. Something about turning 27 or turning 28 makes people just flock to the subreddit. But he ended up matching with a girl in the US who lived all the way out in Boston. He goes there, flies, meets her, and gives her, I would imagine, his first hug. And you know what he described this hug as? Surreal. and they end up going to a hotel, and success, they both end up losing their virginity that same night. Or for some odd reason, we have back-to-back Canadians. Take Sam, who has been shy since his early 20s, and he's been on and off posting on r/Virginity Exchange for, I guess, a good sum of years now. Which, I mean, at first you don't succeed, you don't try again. So he has determination, if nothing else. So he gives it another shot, and he actually meets someone to his surprise. But here's the problem. Remember that golden rule about you having to be a virgin? Well, it doesn't apply to women, because you gotta remember, these guys are trying to lose their virginities. And she was more experienced than him, which, and I guess in this case, was less nerve-wracking. And ended up being a positive experience for him. So another round of applause for my boy Sam. And of course, with every success story, there's an equally worse story. So of all places, on r/Virginity Exchange, there are scams. I know, shocker, ghosting, oh sacre bleu, or even the heartbreak. Oh, my heart weeps. And the, oh my god, why did I even post here moments, which I would imagine is post-nut clarity. Now, let's be honest here. With every success story, there is probably 10 other nightmare stories that we can pick apart time after time again. I mean, if you thought that r/Virginity Exchange was a wholesome place, shocker, it isn't. First off, let's talk about the scams, right? Virtually every guy that posts on that subreddit swears that 99% of the people on there are scammers, which honestly, in a group member of 50,000 people plus on a subreddit, that's probably not far from the truth. You'll see constant posts saying how criminals prey on virgins. But how do they do it? Well, they usually pose as a woman, slide into the DMs, and tell them to go on Kick, which, if you've watched my last video on Kick, you should know that that is a barren wasteland that nobody should ever go on, because once again, it's also filled with scams. Yep, that's a scammer waiting for gas money or as some kind of verification fee, you know, the why did you redeem, you know, type of behavior. Oftentimes when guys on the subreddit get a woman that is messaging them, it will often be some type of woman that is saying, oh, I will fly to you, but I need some type of money so I can cancel the flight. Then there's the ghosting. And the problem is that it's not just guys who are complaining. You even have women down in the comments going, just got ghosted again. Damn, being a virgin sure is tough. And I'm probably gonna catch some flack to say this, but like one extra deny from being like a female Elliot Rodgers. You even have some users claiming on the subreddit that the moderators will actually ban you if you get a little bit just too much action. You know, you're taking all the, you know, you gotta leave some for the rest of us, man. So think about it. If you don't get anything, it's sad. But if you do too well, well, goodbye, you're getting banned. See, apart from that, you're also getting the really weird things and pretty much everything in between. You have people who are sitting there trying to fetishize the virgin thing. You also have people that are clearly suffering from delusions or having straight up manic episodes, or, you know, schizophrenics. Or my favorite, which I think is the funniest, you have people, the women are going into men's DMs, and they're seeing it as a golden opportunity to send them a OF menu page. See, you can see that literally all of these posts on this subreddit is M4F, which stands for male looking for female, or my personal favorite, male throwing a Hail Mary into the literal void. Or you have these weird people that have a little bit too much of a gooner brain that are asking if there's a such thing as a sex teacher, or, you know, a little bit of sex education. Like somebody's just gonna come out of the woodworks and say, "Ooh, me, yep, I got you." And apparently there is a lot of people out there that have made a living off of helping virgins. See, the thing about r/Virginity Exchange that made me want to create this video to begin with is just the name. That has intrigue, because you don't really think that a place like that exists. But like the internet, there is bound to be a subreddit for literally everything. And what makes me like it so much is that there are so many different characters or groups of people in one area, and it's very easy to see which ones are which. You have the scammers, you have the bots, you have the schizos, you have the people that need to see psychiatric care. And they're all in one subreddit. And honestly, where else can you go to find a subreddit that has so many different people just in one location? I guess what I'm trying to say here is that it's kind of my own little personal zoo. So just remember, the next time that you're complaining on a dating app, thank God that you're not one of these people on r/Virginity Exchange. And with that, my name is Big Papa Test. If you happen to like the video, then why not give it a like and a comment? It's a small thing for you, but helps me out massively. I know I've said this time and time again, but why not join the Discord? And while you're at it, why not join the Patreon? I upload Patreon exclusive videos on there. You also get videos early, and you also get your little handy dandy name shouted out at the end of every single video. Shout out to my Patreon, Melissa. Your support means a whole lot to me. And with that, you have yourself a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.